All right. Well, welcome to the WolfShadePodcast episode 56, I believe this is. I am very sorry for coming at y'all random with the episode, even though I just did one yesterday. My name is WolfShade. I'm the host and the owner of the podcast. And like I said before, I'm just here bringing you guys a good episode just to make sure you guys are having fun and just making sure everybody is good and just making sure everybody has a good time in general. Well, when it comes to just bringing guests on, I just got, a very good cosplayer. Come to find out, I didn't know that she is a photographer till like the last minute. So she actually told me what was going on. And she does very good photography work, and her cosplay is awesome too. Her name is Sarah, aka Miss Sunflower Cosplays. Who what we have on today. How you doing?
Hi, doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. I can't joke. I literally almost fell asleep through this. I can't. It was like, oh shoot, it's about to be 4 o'clock. But I'm doing good so far. How about you?
Doing all right. I can say that I almost fell asleep myself. It's just one of those rainy, cloudy days. Curl up in bed, stay warm and cozy. But happy you had me on here.
But wait, isn't that technically falling asleep doing man? I know when you said kind of just staying like to get I mean in the bed, just like laying down and stuff. I was like, well, you kind of still technically fell asleep too. So I understand where you come from. Just want to relax and everything, and just make sure nothing kind of what's the word go crazy and everything too. So,
Oh yeah.
but when it comes to that, I'm glad for you to join me on this episode and just trying to like at least get to know more about you. Cosplay and just more about you as in general because I don't talk to a lot of people like that, but it's just good to kind of learn more about, you and your career and stuff like that. But when it comes to cosplay, you know, how long I would say you've been cosplaying in general? Because from seeing your work and everything, I'm assuming you got like a lot of history in cosplay.
To be honest, I am very much a baby cosplayer. I just so happen to meet the right people at the right time. So as I kind of mentioned to you beforehand, I grew up out in Henderson, Nevada. And so
Mm-hmm.
something that I would always go out to there is the Level Up Expo. But I never actually cosplayed. I saw cosplayers and I was like, oh, this is cool. But I never
Mm-hmm.
really had, I guess, the guts to do it. I was always kind of nervous about starting. I didn't know where to even begin.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I took a move to Pennsylvania shortly after I finished college, and I went to a Michael's, and I met my best friend, Echo Haven Cos.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, they're like, "Oh yeah, like I'm into cosplay," and they were like showing me all these cool things they were doing. I was like, "That's actually really sick. How do I do that?"
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "This is seems like a fun time hearing all the stories about conventions and like all the friends that they've made along the way."
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't till Otakon of last year that I did my first cosplay. I
Mm-hmm.
remember putting on my Rebecca from Cyberpunk and was like,
Mm-hmm.
this is cool. What am I doing? I could just feel like the energy all around me. And then going through and I like all throughout the week doing photo shoots, making new friends. That's
Mm-hmm.
what got me more stuck into the cosplay. It's like, yeah, this is something I want to take and do more seriously.
True. And with conventions and stuff, like you said, cosplay wasn't like a thing that you wasn't kind of serious about. Kind of like so friends got into the mix of it.
Yep.
Yeah, that
It's like
makes.
I always wanted to cosplay. I had a few friends that did it, but I've never had the opportunity to do it until last year. And now I'm sitting here on like Doki Doki and Uwobo on like a daily basis, sending pictures to friends like, we got to do this. We got to do this little like group thing, or I want to get this one. I want to get that one. It's
Hmm.
very easy to fall into the rabbit hole of having so many cos plans, but
Hmm.
not sure how to going about like getting them.
Yeah, you got a fair point with that because I'll usually try to at least get certain cosplayers and everything. Well, not cosplays, but yeah, cosplays and trying to figure out like okay. what can I do here? What can I at least like up the ante with a little bit? And how can I just at least try to, better myself in my, career to see um what I can kind of do myself. So I can understand where you're coming from there. But when it comes to, cosplay in general, that was the wrong question. When it comes to cosplay in general, everybody has their set that's expensive and everybody has their set that is least. So like what's kind of like a tie in between like a cosplay that you did that was the most expensive and a cosplay that you did that was kind of like the least, which really didn't require a lot of things for you to do. Basically like a lot of effort pretty much.
I think the most expensive for me is either one of my Genshin cosplays or one of my League of Legends cosplays. I
Hmm.
had a Coven Ari, and you buy the cosplay in general and the wig, and then I went ahead and bought one of the tails as well. I think it was like $380,
Mm.
which at the time, like, what
Mm.
expensive cosplay actually is, kind of threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
But as far as like a more cheaper end, I would have to say like doing more of a closet cosplay. When it comes to like the Otakon formal or the formal at different conventions in general, I used to be in a sorority, and so I had a bunch of formal dresses already.
Eh,
So I would just take one of those that I already had and use a wig for the con that I already got. So it was like only $30 extra if I got like an accessory, but trying to make the most out of what I already had.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that would make sense. I would do the same thing when it comes to just trying to at least see what I have and see what I can use and see what I'm too lazy to use, I guess.
Yeah.
And it usually never works out because most I ever spent, surprisingly, because I usually just do the stuff myself. Because if I just try to like get something around that price and it doesn't fit, it just kind of ruins the whole thing for me. But I would say the mostly thing I ever tried was like at least 60. Because I don't spend a lot of cosplays unless I need to, unless I'm trying to get seriously in the character. It's like, okay, why not do a cosplay where you can do like homemade,
Yeah.
right out of your own closet, see what you can do rather than a commission one that you can get done from people and everything too. So that was kind of like the notion for everything. And then oh go
I was gonna take and say back to that. It's like closet cosplay is a little bit slept on. Like I feel like cosplay can be a little bit competitive sometimes, but it's seeing the own
a
twist that you
little.
can make with it. Like taking what you have like at your house already and turning it into something like fun and like on par with the character. Like, oh, this is what I think they'd wear in like a casual setting. This is like my twist on it. It's cool seeing the different interpretations.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The funny thing when you mention like competition and stuff like that, because I can literally go on this all day about competition because I really don't do cosplay for competition, even though I encounter a lot of people that get on my everlasting nerve about doing cosplay competition for no apparent reason, and they try to test me for no reason. And I'm not trying to do that right now because I did that earlier in my story, and I'm not trying to rant again right now. But anyway, um, it's like I get what you mean when it comes to that because usually that type of thing, just doing that would usually set me off. I'm just like, what am I doing? Because a bunch of people that I normally have on there, even the cosplays I had on this season so far, they be like, is it really point of doing competition? I was like, hey, look, don't ask me that because I'm not gonna care. Cause of who I'm having like later on, like she already knows me personally. Like I'm not really that much of a competition person when it comes to these things. I want people to have fun, but yet you're gonna encounter those people that's like that anyway. Um, so like just doing cosplays and everything, and then photography in general, because I always see more of your photography work than anything, though, because I'm assuming you had a long history of photography more than you did cosplay, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, photography has always been something interesting to me. Growing up in Vegas, I'd walk around with my camera sometimes, like on the strip, and like take photos of things I found cool. And then I'd go hiking a lot, so a lot of nature photography.
Mm-hmm.
My first convention, one of my dear friends that helped get me into cosplay, Lithe Cosplay and Lithe Photo,
Mm-hmm.
they usually do cosplay photography, and
Mm-hmm.
they introduced like different things with the camera, and they showed me more about what they were doing, and I find like the behind the scenes kind of cool. So I was like, huh, let me try this out. I swear to goodness, if you saw me at MagFest, I looked like a chicken running around with my head cut off during it because I was trying to do as many haul shots as possible, build up portfolio. Beforehand, I did some photography work for friends like Kanoa Arachnix. I did quite a bit
Oh
of
yeah, that's my
photography for
boy.
him. And then on top of that, just like having friends at Katsucon come up and be like, "Hey, let me take and like do photos with you." And
Mm-hmm.
then having random people message me too. Like I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't expecting to have people I didn't know message me, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a really like overwhelming but fun feeling getting to like capture their art and creativity with their cosplays and give them something that they can share too.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Because I usually like when you usually do something for so long and then you're not used to people just coming up to you be like, "Hey, I see you doing that. That's kind of cool."
Yeah.
Like, can we talk about this more? Like, it was like that as so much at Katsucon Backfest. I was in a different element, but anyway, it's like at Katsu, I had so many people come up to me and be like, "Hey, I'm a fan of your work right here," and it's just like, "Oh, I didn't know that." I usually don't be having people. I usually don't know people be fans of my work till somebody be mentioning it to me because it just depends on what mood I'm in. I could be tired and just be like, "Oh, cool, thank you." Like, like you don't get used to that even despite when you're doing it so long,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like tying a difference of just like when it comes to cosplay, do I prefer to work alone? Do I prefer to work with people? Do I prefer to just do either or if the characteristics don't get on my everlasting nerve? But at the end of the day, it's kind of like that. So, and a lot of people always be telling me, it's kind of cool, like just working with people and everything. Like, I don't know what you prefer to do, like working together or working alone. I'm assuming working together because I see your post, like you got a lot of cosplays, you do together. So I just pretty much answered the question like there.
It's like I like doing group cosplays because it's getting a chance to meet more people.
Mm-hmm.
In the town that I'm in, there's not many people my age that I know.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, my weekends, I'm at my boyfriend's apartment or
Mm-hmm.
I am out shopping with my friend Echo Haven. And it's when I get to conventions and seeing more smiles, I feed off other people's energy. I like bringing joy to others. A nickname that I've gotten from a few friends is Sunshine. I just like doing my best to make other people happy. And then
True.
getting into groups and doing cosplays with them, seeing their smiles, putting our work together. It's very heartwarming just to like see it all once you're like sitting there in the group chats. Hey, I'm going to Otakon. Let's do this cosplay together. Like, it'll be great to see you and do this, and then you actually get there and you see all the cosplays come to life. It's really cool.
True. I usually kind of don't pay attention to that type of notion because like people do their cosplays and I'm just like what, I'm just gonna let them do that. I'm gonna let them have fun. I'm gonna let them do this and do that. I think I should pay attention to that more because like it's always cool seeing other people kind of just cosplay different characters too, and then because I might have people cosplay my stuff one day when I least expect, and I just be like, oh, cool. I'm tired, but cool. But it's most likely probably gonna be like that. So, because only reason I'm like that, just tell people, just do what you want. I can't do anything about it. Because if I see people cosplay, a certain character, I just be like, okay, do what you want, have fun, do this, do that, do whatever. I mean, try not to have people say otherwise because it's not right. It's not fun. Like, don't. let people stop you from cosplaying a certain character, no matter what skin color you are. Even though I can literally have a point on point conversation about that when people don't want to have a conversation about that because they think in the certain cosplay community, okay, oh, this certain skin color is entitled to cosplay this character. And I literally said this to one person once when somebody said it to me. Man, oh, this certain skin color is entitled to cosplay this character. And I was like, you are entitled about 55 seconds to get away from me because I do not want to start with you right now. So it always
Cosplay is more than.
you said what?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you saying something.
I was saying like cosplay is not just for one body type, one skin color, one of anything. There's so many different ways of cosplaying. There's so many different loves of the fandoms. Like, do not tell a person who they can cosplay from a fandom of because of this reason or this reason or this reason, because you wouldn't want that back on yourself. No one owns a cosplay. You're allowed to enjoy it however you want to, and you should be able to cosplay however you want to because it's about the confidence that it brings you.
See, I always say the exact same thing you say to people. But I feel like for some reason people just love trying me when it comes to that notion. I'm just like, look, I can't stop people from cosplaying a certain character because of like the skin color and everything, which I don't think is right. It's just I try not to let my blood pressure get to the point where, I just be like, okay, let me make a rant about it. Probably a 9-part rant, which I think I did 2 hours ago, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's been a tough day. Let's just say that. That's why I'm kind of like in this nonchalant mood right now because people make me so mad. I don't know why. I try not to be mad, but the simplest things make me mad. It's just that bad. I just be like, why can't people be respectful to each other? Like you can't be mean to people because they don't approve of the same thing that you approve of. That's like I got plenty of cosplay pet peeves. I don't know what's a couple of yours.
When it comes to cosplay pet peeves, I don't know about pet peeves too much with it. I
Sarah,
think it's
uh,
more of
mm,
just
mm,
understanding, like, oh, sorry.
you got too many, Sarah. I know you can't say you don't got pet peeves.
It's like, for me, it's one of those things where it's like, I see a lot of, like, I own a character, or it's like people trying to, like, be, oh, because I cosplay this character, you shouldn't cosplay this character. At least I've heard of that happening. I honestly have had a very wholesome environment around me when it comes to cosplay. I've just been around the right groups at the right times.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very thankful for that experience. A lot of my friends are super encouraging. I have friends that build props and they've helped me like doing commissions for that. I've had friends show me how to take and like do wig styling, where to get the best cosplays from, how to take and start sewing my own cosplay soon too. So
Mm.
I'm very thankful that I've had more of a positive side of experience with it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I will say the exact same thing too. It's just I'm kind of that person that will you you know me, so it's it's like I morally want to influence people to do their thing and everything, and it's not. And I love doing like for people to influence and go like if they want to do cosplay, sure they can do cosplay and stuff like that. But I would not hesitate in the quick of a doubt to call someone out too, because like I always say in my stories, there's a time and place for everything. But don't go around ruining somebody that wants to do something. I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
Like that's like a major pet peeve of mine, and that's just like it's just a lot for me. And it's like I want people to just have fun. I want people to just do anything and all that, man. I like I said for this season of the podcast, I didn't expect to get this many cosplayers on it because people love to talk about cosplayers. It's just not my fault that the conversation kind of goes different because like we always get sidetracked. So it's like, yeah, it happens. But when it comes to cosplay, I think you explained what was your first convention like where you ever cosplay that, right?
Yeah, my first con was Otakon of last year. And so I'm very much looking forward to August coming around and having like my first like reunion of friends at the con. But all I remember is like taking and having my best friend. We got into my Jeep, we drove the 5 hours to DC and walking back and forth with the push cart trying to get all of our luggage into the hotel room. But then putting on the cosplay and the wig and like going out. I remember one of my good photography friends now. His name is at Maddie B Cosplays or Maddie B Photography. My apologies,
Mm-hmm.
but he came up to me and was like, "Hey, you want to do a photo shoot together?" And I was like, "Yeah, that'd be so cool." This is like my first 10 minutes, just like being out on the con floor, even and having this waft of confidence. I usually stay home 9 out of 10 days of the week. You'll see me in pajamas or sweats, just sitting in front of my computer working. And so it's hard having big social interaction
Yeah.
person. If you cannot tell, I love talking, I love meeting new people. And so having that opportunity to one put on a comfort cosplay and seeing new people and meeting new people, know more about the community and having people come up to me and compliment me and wanting to take photos. It
Yeah.
was a really like interesting experience. I wasn't expecting it to go like that. I was a little bit nervous about reactions and walking around, but now at KatsuCon, you'll have me in a cosplay walking around with my props in the middle of the street, heading to CVS for a quick snack between photo shoots. It's a thing that you become more accustomed to.
Yeah. I agree. And when it comes to just doing all the other stuff, when it comes to cosplay and everything, I try not to be that guy to just be like, okay, I see them doing photo shoots. What can I do to just avoid this stuff? Because I would be like, excuse me, coming through. Like, because I always tell people, if you see a dude in your photos doing this is me giving you a fair warning that I'm gonna be in these photos. I will not begin to tell you at Katsucon this year how many freaking photos I've got photobombed into. And I had people let me know on Instagram. And the main thing I'm always asking, who are you? I was like, wait, we met? Like, oh, okay. So I'm just like, no, okay. But I always tell people just to have fun when it comes to doing their photo shoot anyway. But I always be like, cool, let's do it. Let's have fun or whatever. Like I usually don't do photo shoots myself, but I love like, trying to like get good angles of like photos and everything and stuff like that. But I would say like just trying to like get good photos, whether I'm across the country or whatever. I try to cosplay I try to cosplay anywhere I can, to be honest. Yeah, I feel like that would be fun to do. Like, I don't know if it's a goal in mind to cosplay, like maybe in Japan or South Korea
Yes.
or somewhere if you had a goal in mind to cosplay. But I try to like do stuff around the world just to make sure, at least the background and everything, looks good. And then I kind of let people be like, okay, how do you view yourself as a cosplayer? And I just be like, look, I'm just doing I just love to do this for fun and everything because I usually don't see this as a competition because I can go at this all night about that, but I'm not trying to do that tonight. But for you, what? How do you? I mean, how do you view yourself as a cosplayer? To be honest.
I when it comes to cosplay. Like I have a lot of talented friends in the field. I have been getting advice on how to start sewing because I find it really interesting to like start making some of my own like cosplays. I am 5'8" and a little bit on the thicker side, and so sometimes the sizing doesn't always match up to me in a polite
Yeah.
way. So being able to make things more for my body would be really cool. It'll like a little boost of like, hey, I did this. Like Tango Evelyn from League of Legends. I am League of Legends trash. I love it so much. But it's like starting to build up more of like, okay, here's my collection. Here's how I can do this better. Here's how I can style wigs better. I feel like there's
Hmm.
always room for growth, but also like, hey, I've come a long way from the start too, and recognizing that. I know there's again room for growth, but I'm in a pretty happy place with cosplays right now.
True.
How
I'm
about yourself?
glad.
Like,
You said me?
yeah, how about yourself? Like, I know you were mentioning to me about some cosplays that you were thinking about doing for like Otakon and like doing photos together. Like, where do you see yourself with cosplay?
I mean, I see myself as cosplay still doing it and everything. The main issue is people not getting on my everlasting nerve. That's the only thing. Above all, I'm gonna do it regardless of what people say. So, because like that's what I want people to do when it comes to cosplay, is just have fun regardless of what people say and everything. So, but I'm still gonna be doing it for like probably 10 years or probably so and everything. And yeah, and just making sure like people have fun in general because I love people I love people just to have fun and do what they want to do and everything. And yeah, and people just I always tell people like at conventions, and I always tell people at conventions like just have fun regardless, and just be like cool, let's have fun. And yeah, so I just be like, let's just have fun. Let's just do whatever, and just let's just try to just be like, okay, like let's make some badass photos, make some badass videos. Um, let's try to at least do some stuff at conventions like Otakon, Colossal Con, coming up because I'll
Yep.
be going to that as well, surprisingly, because I know everybody's going to be there. Um, and it's just basically because people always ask me, what's your favorite part of putting on a cosplay? I was like, nothing really, but it was just like, being able to cosplay a certain character and having fun with that character is what's kind of
Exactly.
entertaining about it too, just to make sure, just be like, okay, I can do this character. I know that I'm not bad. I try. I'm always playing the characters that's at least bat crap crazy, right? And it's just like, okay, I can do this. I know I can do this because I constantly Mr. Hagane Zunka from Demon Slayer so far, knowing that he's crazy. And this year I'm trying to do Toby and all that too, just to make sure everything kind of go along the lines of what I want to do and everything with that character. And I'm just like, cool, we got this. So yeah. And it's just like, kind of like what is cosplay? Mm, yeah, you literally just explained what is cosplay to you just like 20 seconds ago. So, and now that I'm literally the only one out of my friend group that don't wear contacts because I hate wearing contacts because my eyes.
I understand that. I tried doing colored contacts once. I could not do it. I, on occasion, wear normal contacts, but I've gotten to a point now to where I am glasses for everything. And then if it comes to a photo shoot, I'll take off my glasses, take my, and then walk around, blowing around the con floor, being led by one of my friends, or I'll wear my glasses around. But color contacts, kudos to anyone that can do it. Not for me, but K job if you can.
Hey, I mean, it happens with that. I mean, people that wear color contacts is just being like, okay, we can do this and then do that, and I'm like, okay, that is gutsy, but at the end of the day, I need my eyesight. So I'm just like,
Yep.
okay, I need my eyes, and it's just like, okay, I don't know, I applaud anybody that does that, honestly. So I'm just like, okay, I can't do it. They'd be like, but the character will go good. I'll be like, cool, that's you, that's not me. So I'm just like, okay, but it happens and
I think
everything. No, no, you saying what?
When it comes with photography and editing, something that I've gotten more used to doing is editing photos to match the colors of the eyes of the character. Like I did one recently for a friend named Ollie, and they were doing like the evil prince from a game, and that prince has like purple eyes. So going in and adding filters to make the eyes look more like a purpley color. And then in one of my own photos, a photographer that I've become friends with, Hail the Naninator or something like that on Instagram, I did an Evelyn cosplay back at Otakon, and they were able to turn my eyes yellow in post to match the
Mm-hmm.
character. And so that's been something that I've been enjoying to like help with not irritating my eyes with the colored contacts, but still having that little added flair to the character.
Yeah, true, true, true. True, that makes sense. Hmm. Yeah, I completely forgot about the effects of everything, to be honest. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. But hmm. Let me think, let me think, let me think. Mm, if I would say if somebody told you that, they love your cosplay, like, how would you feel about that? Like you'd be motivated and everything too. Like what would your reaction be to that?
I would honestly feel happy about it. I am a very, I don't want to say cuddly person, but I have a cuddly personality. I like
Mm-hmm.
compliments. I like giving compliments. And so hearing people say like, "Hey, like you're doing really good. I'm proud of you." I think it's just more motivation to keep going and then working with other people to like continue to grow as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense. And if somebody just randomly say, I kind of like hate your cosplay, you kind of need to work on that more, like what would your type of reaction be to that type of question or comment?
I don't do well with conflict in general. If I take and get any sort of negative energy from a person, or I can feel a little bit of hostility from them, like I'm more of a person to back away. I'll wish anyone the best, but at the end of the day, it's my cosplay, how I feel, and how I like it. Like if it's constructive criticism, like, oh, like your wig style pretty cool. May I recommend this or this to improve? Then I'll take it open arms. But if it's just sitting there spreading negative energy, not for it, because I know myself, I know my skills, I know my abilities. And at the end of the day, it's about what makes me happy, not everybody else around me. I don't expect everyone to be a fan. I don't expect everyone to like what I'm doing. But as long as I'm happy, I think that's all that matters.
Yeah, you got a fair point. Yeah, family is always important, to be honest. And pretty much asked you like half of these freaking questions. Um, I really didn't know it was like a term kind of cosplayer. Like, what kind of cosplay you consider yourself? I just consider myself a regular cosplayer. I didn't think it was a type.
I am very much. I see cosplayer whenever I hear that question. I think about of like how long you've been doing it for. Like I call myself a baby cosplayer because I've only been at it for like a few years. I've heard the term casual cosplayer to where it's someone that'll like go to cons, they'll casually cosplay, like they'll put something on, but it's not something that they do professionally. And then there's professional cosplayers who do it for years on years, do it with like promotions and have brand deals and all sorts of stuff, make revenue from it. I would love for that to become a reality someday. But right now, casual cosplay, being a baby cosplayer, getting my foot more in the door, that's a comfortable place of where I'd like to say I am.
True. That makes sense. That makes sense. Um, and when it comes to like what was kind of like the least like cosplay project that you least try to do, whichever.
The cosplay that I put like the least amount of effort into. Let me see here. There was a last minute thing to where it was during Otakon 2. I had a group of friends that were wanting to do bunny suits together, and I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for that much yet. I was like a little bit scared, like, what is it gonna feel like? I've never worn a bunny suit before. And then turn around, it was like a quick little couple week prior to the actual event, going on Amazon, ordering something for like 20 bucks and then
Mm-hmm.
dyeing it to match like my Rebecca wig and then going with that. I feel like that was like my quickest like turnaround cosplay. It's where it's like I didn't put too much effort into it, but it's still something that I'm proud of.
True. That makes sense. Just $20 in general.
Exactly. Like I already had the wig. I just spent $20 on a bunny suit, had it come in,
Mm-hmm.
and that was that. I called it good.
True. Um, mm, is there like certain characters that you cosplay that may be annoying to cosplay, honestly? Well, no, not so far yet.
When it comes to like cosplays that can be a little bit annoying, I would say I have a little bit of pet peeve with my Lucy cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
I love Lucy from Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk in general is just one of my favorite anime,
Mm-hmm.
but she's this like skin tight, latexy feeling kind of like cosplay. And as you know, being in the DC area in the spring and summer, it is humid, it is hot. Nobody wants that. And like walking around con, you can feel it getting sweaty and it's not a fun time. So it's like I'll throw her on for like 5 minutes and then go change promptly into something else because I don't want to be sticky all day. But I feel like that's the answer for that.
True. That makes sense. I mean, I mean, you you're not like one of those people that just like I would say put on the cosplay in the nick of the heat and then go inside because I will carry a bag with me and then go into whichever private or bathroom they have and put my cosplay on there because I can't put my cosplay on and then just sweat bullets for no apparent reason. I can't do that. The feeling sucks. Like just putting on your
Oh
cosplay and
yeah.
then you sweating bullets. Like I can't do that. Like
I
would you do
had a
that?
reverse.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I had kind of the reverse of that at MagFest. I was doing photos in Lucy, and it was snowing outside. I was freezing to death, and so it was getting all like snowed covered and everything. To where I came back inside and changed in the bathroom into a Psyduck onesie, and then kept my Lucy wig on, and I was just in the onesie for like the rest of the day taking photos for people.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I can see how that's like uncomfortable and everything. And then was there like a specific I would say good I think you said friends kind of got you into cosplay, or was it something specific that just got you into cosplay in general?
I always had kind of an interest in cosplay whenever I go to the Level Up Expo. And then I had a friend named Bree. They are Pink Petal Cosplay and Pink Petal Dev, but they do custom prop making and all this other stuff. And I'd always see them cosplay on Instagram, but it's like I never had the opportunity to like meet them in person, go with them to a con because they live up in Michigan. When I first moved out here, I had my cousin and his friends that I would hang out with. But besides that, I didn't really know anybody. Again, small
Mm-hmm.
country town.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I made it up to Michael's one day and met Echo at there, they were getting stuff together to go to either a con or a Ren fair. And I started talking to them more of like, oh, this is what you're doing. This is what all goes into it. And I remember them bringing me to one of their photo shoots that they were doing, and I met their cosplay group there. And just being accepted with open arms and like meeting everybody, seeing all that goes into like the background of a photo shoot and getting cosplays together. They were the ones that invited me to Otakon to try it out and kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone of like, oh, like try cosplaying with us. It'll be a lot of fun. You should try it out. And it's like, I got the more nerve to do it. And so because of them, I now have this hobby that I enjoy a lot and making a bunch of friends that I never thought I would have ever made like friends with.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And mm, I would say, mm, I would say if you had anything just to change about cosplay, it could be anything. Like, what would you kind of change, or would you just kind of stick with the regimen that you do now?
When it comes to cosplay, I would probably take, and as I kind of mentioned, like I want to start making more of my own cosplays. I think it's nice to have that personal touch added to it, whether it be a closet cosplay or
Mm-hmm.
sitting there and sewing patterns together and seeing what you can create. I find it really cool seeing the different types of like creativity that goes into like what people make for them. There was one girl that I met, and she did a full like Rosalina from Mario gown within like a few months after getting home from like a trip to Japan, she was saying, and
Mm-hmm.
seeing like her little pictures of it all coming together, it was really cool. And then having other friends that make all their cosplays from scratch. It's an area that I'd like to find myself deeper diving into.
True. Um, I know you. How much room did your cosplays take up? Because I know you got like a heap of them.
Oh God. Upstairs I have a few little like miniature closets. I call them my little Harry Potter corridors that have suitcase of like different cosplay stuff. I have like a section of my closet drawn out for cosplay stuff and a drawer in one of my dressers for cosplay stuff. I got to a point, I have my Jeep that I'll take and pack up with a few of my friends to like go to cons with. And by the time we're all packed for con, I have a giant bag over the top of my car and our stuff all pushed inside. It's definitely something that I've taken a note of, like how to become more organized with it. But
Mm-hmm.
I've also become very addicted to buying cosplays and trying them on, like having a new collection. It's
Mm-hmm.
very fun to like, sit in front of the mirror and be like, oh wow, like this is this. I'm my character now. Like seeing it come to life, it's kind of addicting to just press the whoops, let me buy this now.
Yeah, you got a solid point with that. Because I'm trying to like at least try something, different and everything, like cosplay stuff from like TV shows and everything too. I really don't have like a specific goal in mind because, as I said, I just trying to like do this for fun, just to and make sure everybody else have fun with it too. But when it comes to when it comes to that, I would say like yeah, plans for like do cosplays like outside of like anime or just TV shows or whichever.
Yeah, I do. I normally take in cosplay either League of Legends Evelyn or I'll do Genshin Yelan.
Mm-hmm.
But taking and looking more into like different TV shows, I want to start doing more anime based things. So like one of the things is Dazai from Bungo Stray Dogs, or taking and doing Sailor Venus from Sailor Moon, a comfort show growing up. I did one anime cosplay, which was Rebecca from Eden Zero, and then I do two cyberpunk things.
Mm-hmm.
But spreading out more from just my two comfort characters of Lucy and Rebecca, and then my one Genshin character of Yelan, and then Evelyn, of course, and seeing
Mm-hmm.
what other things I can come up with.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. When it comes to trying to think. Um hmm. Do you have like a process of like, when you create your own cosplays, like, I mean, even though you talked about like, getting stuff from Amazon or creating by hand, because I know it's a process when it comes to that and the process of creating by hand, which I find more annoying than anything, or what kind of skills did you pick up from kind of just creating it, your cosplays in general? Like, I would say what kind of like skills you just kind of picked up trying to like just creating your own stuff when it comes to cosplays.
When it comes to cosplays, creating myself, I have been taking more advantage of learning how to incorporate more day to day things into my cosplays. And so, for instance, learning how to style wigs. I have this little foam head that I'll sit there on a tripod with and have my friend come over and we'll have wig styling days. They'll bring their scissors, the hairspray, all sorts of stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
learning how like different things could even come into like my daily routine, to where now not only do they help me with cutting my wigs, they'll help me cut my hair too. But seeing the process of all the different things that it takes to like style wigs was something that I've picked up. And then on top of that, when it comes to makeup, I used to not touch makeup. I used to have very sensitive skin, but I have found some good allergy friendly products and stuff like that to where I can use. And so experimenting more with like that and like making cosplays have a little bit more with makeup and different pizzazz. I find some of the SFX makeup that some people do really intense and really cool. I
Mm-hmm.
remember one person had did a cosplay and they completely like mummified out their skin using like toilet paper and different products, and it looked amazing. And I hope to one day be able to learn how to do that. But taking again your everyday products and turning them into something beautiful to add with it.
True, true, true. Um, Despite having like, a year history in cosplay or a few months in cosplay so far, any I would say any advice you want to give to like, future cosplayers that kind of want to, do cosplay as well?
Yeah, I would say you can start from anywhere. You don't have to go out and buy top of the line cosplay products or search and shop from only like Doki Doki Uwowo. You can turn a closet cosplay into something wonderful. And don't let anyone tell you who you can and cannot cosplay. Cosplay should be for everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, what your body type is, what you look like, where you come from. Like, if you find a character that brings you power and confidence, go for it, because at the end of the day, we're all people and there shouldn't be anything stopping you from having a good time.
True. That that's better advice than I would give. I would just say do whatever makes you comfortable. And do whatever makes you comfortable and you know, don't, listen to everybody trying to down you and everything. Because I feel like, there's a sense of unspoken rules when it comes to you know, cosplays and everything. And, I think, when it comes to those, like obviously be mindful of people because everybody of course everybody will love to see, others cosplay and just do whatever, but also everybody also want to see I mean, I want to see people have fun, as I said before.
Exactly.
Like I want to see people have fun. I want to see people, do whatever. I want to see people, just try to be themselves and not try to act like a perfectionist or, you know, willing to sacrifice that accuracy because like not everything cosplay has to be accurate. Like I want people just to have fun or whatever, like make whatever prop makes them have fun to get in the character and all that and everything. I don't know if you had a favorite prop that you made or if you ever made a prop so far, but I don't know.
I haven't made a prop yet. I want to though. I remember my first prop I ever got though. I commissioned my friend Pink Petal Cosplay up in Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
and I got my Rebecca Cyberpunk gun, and then having the little headpieces that light up instead of just being normal. And then recently, I have made friends with this really cool Halo cosplayer, Fueled by Filament. and they 3D printed me my own like Halo helmet. Halo was a very
Mm-hmm.
big game for me growing up and like in college
Yeah,
especially.
same. Yeah.
So I've been going through sanding that and like painting it. And so though I didn't print it, it's going to be something that I customize on my own. So very excited to see how that comes out.
Yeah, true, true, true. I have like a very unique history of like, 3D printing and stuff like that too. I usually don't do it all the time, but it sure is fun doing from time to time because I'm trying to 3D print a lot of things, and then I got a lot of friends that I never expected that would be cosplaying are now coming out to do cosplay and everything. And I was like, oh, what a coincidence! Now you come to cosplay, and these are guys that will normally cosplay like mature characters or just uh just things that what's the matter the word I'm looking for but what kind of like makes them comfortable is as well, and it's just like I said before, I want people just to have fun. And I don't know if I asked this yet, but did I ask future cosplay that you had in mind?
Ooh, future cosplays. Something that I'm excited to bring out is my Star Guardian Seraphine. I recently got her, and I am commissioning my friend Alden to make me her microphone to where I can attach it to like my little battery pack and walk around with a working microphone at con. Other things is Dazai from Bungo Stray Dogs. He's a very big comfort cosplay for me. I don't know if I'm going to do Dazai in the masculine form or if I'm going to turn it into a femme cosplay yet. But
Mm-hmm.
besides that, I have Cat from Halo. I am doing a Fuwawa and Mukoko thing with Echo Haven. But besides that, I have a long list of things that I want to do, but they're all on the back burner to before I can take and actually get these other things done.
True, 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 true. Hmm. And that's kind of like the game plan so far, to be honest.
Yep, that's what I have coming up for these next few conventions. Like, I'm gonna try and make Tango Evelyn for Otakon. Not positive
Mm-hmm.
yet if I'm gonna be able to do that, but I am hoping to at least turn a couple of those into in my hand cosplays for Otakon and CC.
Yeah, true, true, true. Okay, okay, okay. Mm, uh, hmm. I think I pretty much asked everything. I mean, uh, with the characters that you cosplay as, I mean, obviously you know a lot about Cyberpunk, but the other characters you cosplay, you kind of like know a lot about the series history of them, or you just be like, okay, I like the way this character looks. Let me just cosplay them once and then look at it later.
So it was kind of like that with Yelan from Genshin. When I first cosplayed her, I had not touched Genshin before, never played it, but I had my best friend who was obsessed with it. And anytime a new story or something happened or they got to a new point in their game, I was getting a phone call and we'd be on the phone for like 3 hours talking about what was happening. And then taking and learning about Yelan and like her storyline. I found it really cool. And so I cosplayed her. And then when I got the opportunity to, I don't do well with mobile games. It's just something that I can't really get into. But when
Mm-hmm.
I started playing it on my boyfriend's PS5 more recently, it's become an addiction to me. Like I'll sit in bed for hours taking and playing it
Mm-hmm.
while he's playing on the other games with his friends. And so it's become something cool for me to learn about.
Okay, okay. That makes sense. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I mean, all right. Usually, hold on one second. All right, I'm back. But yeah, because like I said, I usually go past these questions really, really fast and everything too, before I really start going through and editing this whole thing. So I'm just like, oh, you go through 20 or 30 questions in a span of a rest and everything. So I cause usually the whole point of this podcast is just basically like, get people on there kind of learn about their history and everything too. Cause I know a lot of people really don't have a lot of history in certain things and kind of just getting people in there in general just to have fun, talk with everything, shoot the shot and everything. Cause this is literally the only episode where I have not cussed. That kind of surprised me today. But um yeah, and so usually it's just, trying to open it out there and just making sure people have fun with it pretty much. And that's what I love to people to do, just to have fun and kind of just, have fun getting to know you, who you are and everything too. And you kind of already gave the advice and everything on, cosplayers on that. I want to do the work and everything too. So I would say much appreciative of that and everything. And yeah, pretty much. I mean, any other advice you'd rather give people that wants to do cosplay too?
Other advice, you can start from anywhere. Like if you want to take and cosplay a character from a show but don't know what to do with it, like there's so many different platforms out there to where you can learn like, oh, this is how you do like this type of wig styling. This is how you can take and like get this kind of pattern for sewing, or this is this website that you can buy from. This is this website you can buy from. There's so many different platforms out there to help you. And
Mm-hmm.
then I've learned to like when I started building up like my Instagram and reaching out to people, there's so many people willing to share advice and add information to you. Um, from photography to cosplay, there's so many different areas and like ways to help you learn and to improve.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let anything hold you back from going after what you want to do within cosplay.
Okay. Yeah. That's better than me. But but yeah. Yeah, that's good advice. I'd rather people, you know, try to at least go for what they want to go for and try to have people have fun with what they love to do. Like that's pretty good advice. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself, but yeah, I think I'm gonna cap it off here for today. So thank you for joining me on this episode and everything. And it's always good talking with you. And it was fun, having you on this episode. To everybody that watches this later on, this is Sarah, aka Sunflower Cosplays. And, go check her out on her Instagram. I don't know if you have any other social medias because I don't be on other social medias like that unless people tell me.
Yeah,
So
no, it's just my Instagram. I that's my one thing.
true, true, true. You heard it from her. Everybody, thank you for, checking out this episode. And yeah, we will run it back to you.
Thank you.